For comments, correspondence, and feedback, here's our email address, utahkrishnas@gmail.com. Website there for more information. Everything is inspired by the teachings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the founder of Chariot of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Om Maganati Manandasya Ganagana Sadakya Chaksurim Militum Yanatashmahi Sugirigay Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yanabhuttare Swayam Rupakiram Yantarati Swasradhyam. Anybody remember that old Temptation song? Sunshine on a cloudy day. Anybody at all? Okay, so anyway, there was a song sung by the Temptations, and that was the title. Trust me. One of the things I like about Utah is it can be cold, but it's usually because it's high desert. It's very seldom gloomy and overcast. It can be really, really cold, but as long as there are very few clouds in the sky, there isn't much overcast, you can be in a really upbeat mood, even when it's like 20 degrees outside. But every once in a while, we do get an inversion or something that sets in. I remember one year, it had been uncharacteristically gloomy every day for a week, 10 days, and so on and so forth. And the forecast didn't predict any change in circumstances. This is going to be a problem here, with all these kids together. So one time I was sitting in my office looking out at the gloomy, gloomy skies, the grayness of it all. Hadn't seen the sun quite a few days. And the weatherman said nothing was going to change. 10-day report, same old, same old, same old. Some or other, this particular moment when I looked out, the clouds parted inexplicably, unpredictably. And a ray of sunshine came bursting through. And then more and more the clouds separated, and more sunbursts came through between the clouds. And the clouds not only separated and came apart, but as I watched, they magically just dissipated, disappeared. And before you knew it, it was a glorious, cloudless, sunshiny day. Totally unpredicted, totally not part of the forecast whatsoever. And as I watched, my mood lightened, and that song came to my mind from the Temptations, Sunshine on a Cloudy Day. I thought that would make a good subject for a topic. So there may be clouds, so to speak, in your life as well. And they may have been there for quite some time. Those clouds of loneliness don't look like they'll ever leave. You don't think you'll ever meet the right person. But our message today, as Krishna has, sunshine on a cloudy day. He's already lined up your perfect partner. Just a matter of time before those clouds clear up. The medical report says you'll never get well. That disease is chronic. You need to just learn to live with it. It's cloudy in your health. Well, the message today is to stay encouraged. If you've kept God first place, unexpected sunshine is coming your way. Those clouds of struggle, lack, can't get ahead, can't get well. They may, it's true, have followed you around for years. You could easily accept mediocrity, think you've reached your limits, that as it is now, it's always going to be. But we want to encourage you to get ready for sunshine on a cloudy day. Because one touch of Krishna or God's favor can thrust you to a whole new level. True, it may be overcast right now, gloomy, some areas of your life. Well, the good news is those clouds cannot stop our God. He's like the sun. He controls the clouds. In a split second, he can cause them to open. Suddenly, you get well. Suddenly, you meet the right person. Suddenly, you're out of debt. Don't be discouraged by the clouds. They're only temporary. It was cloudy in my wife, Bobby, and I's life in 1981 when she had a little nasty-looking mole in her ankle. She went to the oncologist. She had it biopsied. It turned out it was between stage 3 and stage 4 malignant melanoma. They gave her a year to live. So those clouds came storming in, and at the time, everywhere he looked, the forecast was dark, gloomy, threatening, foreboding. But the good news is that the doctor, as expert as he may be, he doesn't have the final say. Krishna, or God, has the final say. Krishna is saying to you today, I have sunshine on a cloudy day. I'm going to cause those clouds to open up, to shine down, healing, restoration from those who are doing my work and who keep me first class. And that's exactly what happened in Bhai Bobby's life. Unexpectedly, the sun came out. Here, 36 years later, she's just as healthy and hearty and going strong. She can outwork young people, a third of her age. Caru will tell you that. He's seen her in action. When it's cloudy, sometimes all the voices, including your own accusing voice, will tell you it's never going to change. You'll always be addicted. You'll always be discouraged. You'll always struggle in your career. Well, don't believe those lies. Because Krishna is telling you a different story today. He brought you here to hear a different message. He has sunshine on a cloudy day. It's going to be unusual, unpredictable. The weatherman even didn't see it coming. It's going to happen suddenly. Those clouds are going to break open. You're going to see rays of healing, rays of favor, rays of promotion. But we just have to do one little thing, and that is to get into agreement with God. Can you turn that chanting off, that thing's back there somewhere in the room? The japa is on somewhere. Start acting like it's going to happen. Start thinking like it's going to happen. Start talking like it's going to happen. You can even start dressing like it's going to happen. Well, I'll never get well, Caru. I've had this too long. No, Krishna is restoring health back unto you. The number of your days he will fulfill. I remember about a lady in Los Angeles. She lived to be 114 years old. The Los Angeles Times interviewed her, and they said, to what do you owe your longevity? She said, the Lord ain't finished with me yet. So Krishna is saying to you, you're going to be the head and not the tail. You're going to be not the borrower, but you're going to be the lender. And you will accomplish your dreams. No more, this problem is too big. I don't have what it takes. I'm subpar. I don't see a way out. The opposition's too big. Yeah, the opposition may be too big. You may not have the resources. Your critics may be very, very vocal. But you have on your side the favor of God, and you and God are a majority. If God be for you, then who dare be against you? Doesn't matter. A few clouds. I heard a story in this connection. I'm not going to ask if you've heard, because probably if you haven't heard of the Temptation song, you definitely haven't heard of the famous director Cecil B. DeMille. Okay? Nor have you heard of a once past superstar named Charlton Heston. Nor are you likely to have seen the classic movie Ben-Hur. Let's just test the water. Anybody seen Ben-Hur? Okay, good. All right. Okay, so you're better on your movies than you are on your music. Anyway, at least old music. So Charlton Heston is starring in this movie Ben-Hur, and there's this chariot race. Most of you have seen it at the end. And the director, Cecil B. DeMille, suggested that for more authenticity, Charlton Heston should himself learn to drive a chariot. It's 4 horses abreast, not an easy task. So he thought he'd give it a go, and he worked at it for days and even weeks, extensive training. Finally, he came back and reported to DeMille. He says, I think I can drive the chariot all right, but I'm not sure I'm good enough to actually win the race. So Cecil B. DeMille smiled cryptically, and he said, Heston, you just make sure you drive the chariot, and I will make sure you win the race. That's what Krishna is saying to you today. In times of uncertainty, God is saying, you just make sure you drive the chariot, keep a good attitude, stay in the race, don't give up, and I, the director, will make sure that you win. And when you have that kind of faith in the power of God, what that's doing is pushing apart the clouds, letting the sunshine flow into your life. That's shaking off all the negativity. What you have to avoid is talking about what's not going to work out. Instead of getting all down and giving negative predictions, thinking nothing's going to change, turn it around. Krishna, or God, I know that you're in control of those clouds. You're the director of this movie. It is you and you only who decides who's going to win the race. So instead of being discouraged by the dark clouds, our attitude should be, any moment this can change. Healing is coming for those who kept God first place. Promotion is coming. The right person is coming. Breakthroughs are coming. If you want to see the clouds of your life part and the sunshine come bursting through, the key is to have this expectancy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I heard a story about a man whose supervisor at work was extremely difficult to get along, very condescending, talk with a sneer. Nobody at the company liked the man. He'd been a constant source of frustration year after year. He was a young man, and he could have easily been in that supervisory position for another 20 or 30 years. Well, this man had a good attitude. He was determined to be his best right where he was, but in the back of his mind, he had this niggling thought, this is going to be a pain to have to put up with this guy for the next 10, 20, or 30 years. Well, one morning, lo and behold, he came to work. Everything seemed about the same, normal. Management called a special staff meeting. They told how this supervisor's wife had been transferred to another state, and just without any warning, he resigned. He was no longer with the company. Most of the staff fell down on their knees and said, "Thank you, Jesus." Hallelujah. And what was that? Sunshine on a cloudy day. He didn't see it coming. The forecast was cloudy. All the reports said the problem was permanent. But Krishna, or God, controls the universe. He knows how to suddenly change things, move the wrong persons out, open doors that you never dreamed would open. That's why you can't just go by what you see, because what you see is temporary and what you think is limited. The Lord moves in mysterious ways as wonders do perform. Just like the weather forecasts, they may tell you that it's going to be the same gloomy, overcast condition week after week, month after month, year after year, depressing, never going to change. And in the natural, that may be perfectly true, but the good news is that we serve a supernatural God. On your own, you might be stuck, but the good news is, once again, you're not on your own. The creator of the universe, who spoke millions of worlds into existence, has you in the palm of his hands, directing your steps. He controls the clouds. He controls the wind. He doesn't have to wait for the weather to get better. He doesn't have to wait for the medical report to improve. He doesn't have to wait for the situation to turn around. No. When it's your time, when it's your season, if you've been faithful, if you've honored him and kept him first place, your healing, your abundance, all the forces of darkness cannot stop you from going to the next level. And don't ever give up. Throw in the towel on what you're believing for. Just do the opposite. Get ready, buckle your seatbelt, put your hard hat on, because those clouds are going to open up and take you on the most exciting ride that you could ever imagine. The sun is going to break through. Just like I saw in my office that day. In 15 minutes, every cloud had voided the sky. Everything had totally cleared up. Krishna knows how to make what should have taken you decades and decades and decades to achieve. He knows how to get you there in a fraction of the time. One day you're going to look up and say, whoa, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see my supervisor resigning that quickly. I didn't see my health improving this fast. I didn't see that new opportunity on the radar. I didn't see that favor coming. Classic story we have in this regard from our own Srimad Bhagavatam. A poor Brahmin who had been a childhood friend of Lord Krishna 5,000 years ago when Krishna was on the planet. They had gone to the Gurukul together, the school of the Guru, under the tutelage of Sandipani Muni. So they finished their schooling and they went off to their respective places. Krishna became the king in Dwarka, and Sudama went back to his village in an area that was ruled over by a king named Pandraka. Now, King Pandraka was very envious of Krishna's beauty, Krishna's wealth, Krishna's fame, just like many people are envious of God. They don't like to think of anyone better looking than them, or more influence or more power. So Pandraka was a personification of envy of God, and he did not like Sudama's chanting Hare Krishna and worshiping Krishna and putting Krishna first place. Now, Sudama was a Brahmin, so he made his income by doing housewarmings and birth ceremonies and different types of pujas for the people. But Pandraka told everybody not to hire Sudama. So he was poor. He had lived in a thatched house, and there were holes in the roof, so when the monsoon rains came, there were big floods in his home. He was not getting enough to eat. His wife's ribs were showing. And one day she said to him, "Dear husband, your childhood friend was Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's the king in Dwarka. Why don't you go and ask him for some money? After all, he was your friend. You had all these adventures. You had each other's backs when you were children. Why wouldn't Krishna give to you what would be a pittance, but to us an amount that would make all the difference?" Sudama was completely happy with a simple life, uncomplicated, chanting the names of the Lord and worshiping his holy names. But he took his wife's suggestion seriously because he thought it would be great to see my childhood friend Krishna again, to feast his eyes on the transcendental form of the Lord. So his wife packed him some poha, chip rice. Now this is such cheap food that you don't even cook it. Can you imagine? Rice is cheap, right? It's the cheapest thing in the supermarket. Well, this is even cheaper than that because it's rice that you don't have to cook. You just mix it with a little bit of water. So he rolled some of this into his belt and he went off walking 100 miles or so. When Krishna heard that Sudama was at the gate, he got up personally from his bedstead. He brought Sudama by the hand. He sat him right down on his bed. And Krishna, you can see from this picture, worshipped Sudama, even massaged his feet. Krishna asked Sudama at one point, "Have you brought me any gift or anything?" Sudama was ashamed to give Krishna, the king of Dwarka. You know, he had gourmet cooks, the best food you could imagine. Sudama didn't want to give him a little bit of cheap chip rice. But Krishna saw this little bulge in his belt and he said, "Is that something to eat?" And they had a little wrestling match. And Krishna took one single grain on his tongue. Getting this from my devotee is so relishable, so palatable, so tasty. So in all of this, the bliss of seeing Krishna and being honored by Krishna and reliving some of the adventures they'd had, Sudama never got around to asking Krishna for some money. He thought to himself, "I did not ask Krishna for even one penny. It's just as well. I've been poor all my life. Poverty is my norm. If I got some money, I'd probably be all puffed up and forget about my devotion to Lord Krishna." So think about this for a moment. Sudama had to travel. He had a mission given to him by his wife to get some funds to relieve their poverty. Now he had a great visit, but he's got 100 miles to walk back home. His mission was unaccomplished. He's empty-handed. It looks like the same gloomy clouds that were covering him when he originally started out his mission are still there. He doesn't have any money. He's probably gonna, it's likely, if there was a weatherman there forecasting Sudama's future, he would say he's gonna continue to live in poverty the rest of his life because of his friendship to Krishna. He's gonna continue to be persecuted by the king, Pandraka, and yada, 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 yada. And on top of everything else, he's got to explain to his wife why he was with Lord Krishna in this huge palace and he never got up the courage or remembered to ask him for a little bit of charity. So he's got to face the music with his wife. But can I tell you that Sudama was not affected by these clowns? He chose not to be conditioned and controlled and depressed by his circumstances. We can imagine him walking along the road, being happy, living a simple life, with the names of the Lord on his lips, singing his own version of the Temptations song, which goes like this. I've got so much honey, the bees envy me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the trees. Well, I guess you'll say, what can make me feel this way? My God, talking about my God. You can imagine throwing in a few Hare Krishnas there. I don't need no money, fortune, or fame. I've got all the riches that one man can claim. Oh, yes, I do. I guess you'll say, what could make me feel this way? My God, my God, my God. Sorry, I'm just having a really good time with this. Talking about my God, my God. When it's cold outside, I got the month of May. Sunshine on a cloudy day. Well, I'll guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My God, my God, my God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, like with Sudama, there may be some dark clouds, some negatives in your life as well right now. You don't see how you'll ever get well. You don't see how you'll ever pay off those student loans. You don't see how the legal situation could ever resolve. Here's the key. You are a child of the Most High God. You have royal blood flowing in your veins. That means you have a promise from your Creator. If you keep Him first place, when it gets dark, when you could easily be discouraged, when you feel like giving up, Krishna says you need to do the opposite. Get ready. If you kept Him first place, light is about to burst in. Healing is about to burst in. Favor is about to burst in. Vindication, restoration, all of that suddenly going to show up. Thinking in this way, the learned Brahmin Sudama gradually came back to his village. He met an acquaintance on the outskirts of town who told him that, guess what? His persecutor, the king, Pundraka, had been killed. When he reached his residential street, he turned down his street, and instead of seeing his thatched hut with holes in the roof, he saw that everything was wonderfully changed. He saw, instead of his cottage, there were palatial buildings made of valuable stones and jewels glittering like the sun, the moon, and rays of fire. There were parks and lakes and waterfalls populated by all kinds of exotic animals. Sudama started to think of himself, what's going on here? Did I come to the wrong city? Am I in the wrong part of my city? Did I get turned around, disoriented someone? Is this my place? Or does it belong to someone else? Is this where I used to live? It says the same street name, but how has it so wonderfully changed? And while he was considering this, he saw his wife coming out of the palace. His wife appeared so beautiful. It seemed as if Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune herself, had come out to receive him. He was decorated with a gold necklace, ornaments. She appeared like a heavenly demigoddess. He was surprised to see his wife, no longer with her ribs showing, no longer wearing an old cloth with holes in it. She was beautiful. In great affection, he entered the palace by her side. And when he saw his position so dramatically changed to one of opulence, he began to consider what is the cause of all this. He thought, from the beginning of my life, I've known nothing but poverty. So what could be the cause of all this sudden opulence? I do not find any other cause than the all-merciful glance of my friend, Lord Krishna. chief of the Yadu dynasty. Certainly these gifts are all of Krishna's causeless mercy. The Lord is self-sufficient, husband of the goddess of fortune, full with all opulences. He can understand the mind of his devotee, and he sumptuously, open-handedly fulfills his devotee's desires. All these are acts of my friend, Lord Krishna. My beautiful, dark friend Krishna is far more liberal than the monsoon cloud, which can fill the ocean itself with water. I'm seeing a vivid example of this. All I did was offer him one single morsel of chipped rice with heartfelt devotion, and in exchange, Krishna has given me more opulence than Indra, the king of heaven. In a comment on this story, Prabhupada, our spiritual master, says, when the devotee what the devotee offers the Lord is not needed by the Lord, for he is self-sufficient. But if the devotee offers something to God, here's the deity, and all day long we offer prayers, we offer flowers, we offer food, we offer ourselves for that matter. Prabhupada says, when you offer anything, it is for the devotee's own benefit. Because whatever a devotee offers to the Lord comes back 1,000,000 times greater than that which was offered. Prabhupada says, one does not become a loser by giving to the Lord. Rather, one becomes a gainer millions of times over. Friends, even during the dark times, the cloudy times, can I tell you, Krishna, God, he's still on the throne. He still knows how to change things overnight. Situations that look impossible. You think it's way too far gone, but Krishna knows how to break through those dark clouds. Suddenly, the relationship, the marriage is restored. Suddenly, you get healthy again. Suddenly, you get that break, that promotion you need. Krishna knows how to accelerate you to get you where it would have normally taken you decades and decades to get there. Well, what am I saying? Krishna has the right people lined up for you. Suddenly that supervisor moves to another state. Suddenly that Pandraka in your life is killed. He knows how to put you at the right place at the right time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our attitude should be, Krishna, take my life and let it be consecrated to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of thy love. Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for thee. Take my voice and let it sing, always only for my King. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my intellect, use every power as thou shalt choose. Take my will and make it thine, it shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is thine own, it shall be thy royal throne. Take my love, my Lord, I pour at thy feet its treasure store. Take myself, and I will be ever only all for thee. Krishna, I believe that you have what it takes to remove the clouds, cause the sunshine to come bursting through. The psalmist put it this way: weeping may endure for a night, but joy is coming in the morning. One last thought. When does the day begin? Anyone want to guess? When does the new day start? When do we start the new day? It's at midnight, isn't it? It's at midnight. Is it light at midnight? Is the sun out at midnight? No, it's dark. You could be depressed, but if you think this is a new day, the sun hasn't risen yet, but that's okay. It's a new day. Light is coming in just a few hours. The sun is going to break forth. It doesn't matter that it's still dark. It's a new day. And isn't it a fact, unfortunately, that when it's dark in our lives, we think, oh man, nothing's changing. It's never going to get better. But no, you have to have the attitude that you just passed midnight. You have to believe that you've entered into a new day. Here's the key. Don't wait to thank Krishna or God until you see the morning light. Dare to thank him while it's still dark. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Dare to have an attitude of gratitude even when it's still cloudy. This, my friends, is what faith is all about. We think when I see it, then I'll believe it. But no, you have to believe it. Then you'll see it. Have a new perspective. You belong to God. You are his child. Now you have to have this attitude. Krishna, I made this mess. I, by my own bad decisions, may very well have brought this trouble on myself, but I know that you're a God of mercy, and I believe that you're sending sunshine on a cloudy day. In other words, I'm struggling with this problem, but I believe deliverance is on the way. Restoration, vindication, abundance is suddenly going to show up. When things aren't going our way, it's so tempting to get negative, to complain, to get depressed. Oh, why do I always get the short end of the stick? Why don't I get any good breaks? When is this ever going to change? Use that same negative energy, turn it around and say like this, it may be dark now, but Lord, I believe that we've passed midnight. I believe that we've entered into a new day. And I want to thank you that joy is coming, healing is coming, the right person is coming, that breakthrough is coming. Lord, I want to thank you for sunshine on a clouded day. If you believe like that, you're going to see some suddenlies in your life. Those clouds are going to open, and Krishna is going to amaze you with his goodness. He can help you overcome the problem. He's already got the problem already solved before you even had the problem itself. You may say, Caru, I don't have the connections. That's okay. Krishna has the connections. Caru, I don't have the resources. I don't have the finances. That's okay. Krishna does have the resources. Krishna owns it all. We simply have to have the attitude, all I gotta do is drive the chariot. I don't have to worry about whether I'm the most qualified, whether I'm the most trained. I simply have to keep a good attitude, keep on keeping on, keep on trusting the Lord, and he will do what it needs to be done to make sure that I win the race. It may be cloudy in your life, in certain areas of your life right now, today. But I sense in my spirit, because you're here today, because you're receiving this message with an open heart, things are about to open up. You need to get ready. You're close, if you've kept in first place, to a breakthrough. That breakthrough is going to happen sooner than you think. You're about to see in your life some suddenlies. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now do your part and open up your heart to some unexpected sunshine in your life. Have this attitude of faith. Go out each and every day with expectancy. Thank Krishna in advance for turning every difficult situation around. If you do this, I believe light is about to come bursting through the dark clouds. Healing, favor, promotion, breakthroughs, all those are coming your way in this life and next life. Back to home, back to God. Thanks for your kind attention. If you resonate with any of that at all, you're invited to raise your arms with me, and we can all say together, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Hare Rama. Thank you, kids. You are absolutely great. So you're invited to stand and stretch, and now Marita will lead us in a little more chanting. Then we'll go downstairs. I hope you've gotten hungry, because we have a nice feast laid out for you. And if you have any questions, we'll circulate around and see if we can answer them during the dinner period.
Shraviti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gautam Pratame Vipsi Saraswati Bhagavasya Krishna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Gauda Vaishnavinda ki jai. Namacharya Shiva Hari